Hey friends, I'm here at Larry Whitey's house. He's the winner of the WLPO, WAJK, Wolf, Blackstone Who's Your Daddy giveaway. Congratulations. What we're going to do is we're going to season this Blackstone up here tonight. I'm going to show you how to do that. And in the process, I thought you might be interested to know that getting a griddle, it's kind of like when you get a boat, like you got a boat, but now you need all the accessories that go with it. Well, it's no different here with a griddle because it's a little bit different style of cooking and you need some different accessories than you might already have for your conventional charcoal or gas grill. So I'm just going to go down the list here of some things that you should have, some absolutely necessary things that you should have. And the very first one is one of these infrared temperature guns. You'll see once we get started, you just squeeze the trigger and it tells you on this side what the temperature is exactly, exactly where you're aiming the gun. You're going to find out that your griddle is going to have some hot spots and some little bit cooler spots. And also when you go to start cooking, you want to make sure that your griddle is right at the temperature that you want. I should also stress there are some major differences in cooking on a griddle versus a charcoal grill. First one is, of course, there's no grill marks. I've had a lot of people say, well, what about the grill marks, Sab? You don't get that. You don't get the smoky taste of the charcoal and everything because there isn't any. But what you don't get are flare-ups, uneven cooking. It's predictable because once you get this thing up to the temperature that you want, you know the temperature you're working at. And then, so the next thing you're going to want to make sure that you have is a digital temperature probe. Mine, I already lost the back on mine here, but it gets a lot of use. Put it in there, and certain things like chicken, hey, 165, pork 145, or thereabouts. You can very easily, of course you can use this on a charcoal grill too, but on the griddle cooking, it's just a necessary thing that you should have. Another thing that's really necessary are some good spatulas. Now, Blackstone makes, of course they do, their own. These are a little bit older. These have wood handles. But they do have some pretty cool ones out now that are branded in Blackstone colors that have like a plastic, some sort of a plastic rubber sort of handle. Those do hold up a little bit better in the dishwasher than these. These have been washed so many times they're starting to get a little bit loose because the wood shrinks a little bit, but I still like them. These particular ones are very, very stiff, like they have very little flex in them at all, and that's important once you get going. In addition to two matching size ones, there's also a wider version. This one came with another thing that you're probably going to want to get, which is a press for your smash burgers. And it's nice to have something a little bit wider. You don't know how big your burger's going to be, but it works really nice. Bottles, squirt bottles. These are Blackstone branded, but you can get them just about anywhere. I have 3. I wish I had a 4th one, but generally I keep water in one, I keep canola oil in one, I keep peanut oil in one, and I'd like to have another one for olive oil. Sometimes for veggies and stuff like that, putting some olive oil down, a little bit lighter than these, but definitely want some squirt bottles. Now, next thing that would be really, really great to have is some dredgers. Because when you're seasoning stuff, especially if you got a full load of stuff on your Blackstone, you want to be able to, season a lot and have a lot of it come out at once. This one I found actually had a cover, and I wish the other ones I had. I've got 3 or 4 of these, and I've got a J on here. This is for Johnny's Chicken and Pork Seasoning, my favorite for turkeys too. But and then this is Prime Rib and Steak Seasoning from the Cheese Chalet up in Wisconsin, and I've got a few other ones at Back of the Yard, which is a good one from Hy-Vee, all local Hy-Vee. Scrapers. So when you're done cooking, you're going to need to scrape everything off the grill. I've got 3 different ones. The first one is a real heavy-duty one. And this one, you can really get down and get right down to the bottom to do some heavy-duty scraping. This intermediate-sized one here, I probably use this more than any of them. But I also like to use this smaller one because it's got a bit of an edge on it right here. So if you want to really scrape down without bringing out the big gun, you can do some scraping there. So I've got 3 different scrapers. Nice set of tongs. And these are Blackstone branded, but just a nice set of tongs. I like the ones with the wood handles because you're going to set stuff on the edge of the Blackstone from time to time, and you don't want something to melt when you do that. Because there's a fair amount of heat that actually escapes all around the edge of this particular model. And so when you put your spatulas down and stuff like this, this actually has more of a plastic handle, and mine does have a melt mark because you set it down and it just got a little too close to the edge. That's okay, it still flips. Okay, now, well, you're going to need a lot of paper towel. This came from Costco, but just get a lot of it. Doesn't have to be fancy paper towel, but you're just going to need a lot of it to keep it handy near you at all times. And then we're down to a few other things that are pretty nice to have. This is a dome. So when you're cooking certain foods and maybe you want to steam it, you have it going on the Blackstone, put the cover, just lift it up, squirt some water in from the bottom, and then put the cover down. It keeps that steam inside, so it works good on certain vegetables. If you want to melt the cheese on a cheeseburger, 30 seconds under this dome just melts it perfectly. So you probably get a couple of these. Bacon press. You have to be careful with the temperature with bacon. If you put bacon on and it's too hot, those ends are going to curl up on you right away. So I like to cook bacon at about 365 or so, but even still, sometimes it's nice to just, these are pretty heavy, and I have a few of these. So if you're cooking a lot of bacon, just put these down. It also works for hash browns and stuff where you want to make sure that whatever it is you're cooking is flat, perfectly flat against your cooking surface. When we get the cover off here and everything, you'll see there's a drain on the front. And Blackstone makes these little liners, these little foil liners. They also work good for butter and stuff. So you can keep one on the corner of your Blackstone, keep melted butter in there with a brush handy, you know, so you can baste stuff. Really handy to have. I'd get a bunch of these. Want to make pancakes? Of course, pancake dropper is a must. Just mix all your mix, put it in here, and then you can drop them on your Blackstone and get equal sized really quick. It's very convenient to have. Do you need it? No, but you want it. And you do a lot of fajitas and stuff like that. Get yourself a tortilla warmer. This isn't a fancy one at all. It came from a local Mexican restaurant here in town. It's got styrofoam on the inside, but you can get about 20 tortillas in here, and then just put the lid on and it keeps them toasty warm when you're ready to eat. Two more things. What do you do with all the little miscellaneous garbage? You're cracking eggs like crazy. What are you going to do with that? Well, I bought this little thing, and I'm sure if you're like me, you've got about 1,000 of these bags, and this just fits around here like that. You're also going to want to keep a table nearby so you can kind of, reach over and get what you want. But this is nice, and when you're done, it just closes up. Throw this away, and you're good to go. Everybody's got little bags. You're definitely going to want some trays. I got this one as part of a set from Amazon. These are wood trays. Why do you need trays? A couple things. Well, first of all, is to bring stuff in and out of the house. So when your food's done, instead of trying to be like a waiter at a restaurant where you got stuff on your arm and everything, put on some trays. You can carry it in and out real conveniently, and it works really great. What I would get now is some plastic ones or stainless steel ones that you said you saw at the store. You can put the meat, raw meat, and everything right on it. I wouldn't do that on this wood one. I always have to put a plate down first. And then when you get out here, just scrape it right onto your Blackstone and start cooking. Have a clean one ready to go. When it's done, you can put it on the tray to bring it in the house right away, whether it's a round of burgers or whatever you have. I keep a few cloths handy too. We're going to use one when we season this Blackstone here. You can do it with paper towel, but for the first couple of rounds on here, I'm just going to use just a regular washcloth, nothing fancy, to get the oil spread out. So that's the accessory list that I think you should have. I think you'd want to have this stuff. Once you get going, you're going to love it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and season this Blackstone.